biology. Today we are going to begin with the first chapter. That is the first chapter of the first unit, diversity in the living world. That is the first unit. Under that comes the first chapter, the living world. So now that you have observed the diversity in the living world, you have seen the diverse kinds of organisms which are present on the earth. And they are numerous in number, living in almost different habitats and conditions. And all this diversity actually beautifies nature, so we can enjoy the beauty. Along with human beings, other organisms are also living. And in this chapter, we will be learning about a few characteristics of living things. So we are learning about now biology. So biology is nothing but the study of life. So biology, that term itself, bio, life, logos, study. So we are having biology as a study of life. So study of the living organs. So we are concerned with the study of the living organs. So living organisms, you can see they are present in different conditions on the earth. Even at most such conditions where it is difficult for life to exist. Even their conditions we find certain organisms are living. In extreme hot conditions, cold conditions, everywhere we feel as living organisms. Now let us see what are the diversity of the living organisms, or what are the characteristic features of the living organisms. And in this chapter we learn about the, as I told you, living organisms, they are diverse. So how we can handle this living organism, or study about its living organisms, what are the easy ways of studying this living organism. So when the number is more, how we can arrange them into certain categories for the easy study. And we know all these living organisms are important. Each and every species, maybe knowing what is a species. Each and every species are groups of organisms which are having similar features, and they are capable of interbreeding. So each species is important to the earth. So we know all the species in one way or the other, they are important. Some we get certain they are useful to us, and others maybe in one or the another way they help in maintaining the balance in the nature. So all these living organisms are important. So we'll begin with the topic characteristics of living things. You know about the characteristics. You have studied in your lower classes about the characteristics of living things. So how they differ from the non-living thing. So you know, all living things, they show growth. They show growth. Living things reproduce. They have metabolism, that is many chemical reactions are going on in the body. They show cellular organization. Their body is made up of cell. Then they have consciousness. So in the lower classes we have studied about, that is living organisms grow, living organisms breathe, living organisms reproduce, they excrete, they respond to stimuli. So external changes, they respond to the external changes. So we will see one by one what are the characteristics of the living organisms. So first one, growth. Growth is a characteristic feature of living organism. So all living organisms grow. How do they grow? They grow by a process called cell division. So single cell organisms, they simply divide, and the one cell divides into two, like that they increase in the number. And multicellular organisms, they have different types of tissues are there, inside that cells are there. Cell division takes place, cell repair, all this takes place, and they grow. So in the growth, in the case of plants and animals, it is a little bit different. Plants grow throughout their life, and animals, they they grow up to certain age in their life. And this growth, plants throughout the life it grows and you can see the growth. But in animals, as we human beings, up to certain age we grow. After that, the growth is not visible outside, but inside the cell division is happening. And the cell repair, replacing, all this is going on inside the body. But what about non-living things? Non-living things, do they grow? But we have certain instances where we see that non-living things also grow. So suppose we take example of mountains. Mountains are formed by deposition of soil or by falling snow. In that way they grow. Clouds also, they will form, and in that way they goes, and then covering of the sand dunes, all these things we find that they are not living, but still they show growth. So we can say growth is not a characteristic feature of living organisms. There are exceptions. So these exceptions in the case shows that we can't define growth as a characteristic feature. Even non-living things show growth in some or the other way. Then coming to the next point, reproduction. So reproduction is the next characteristic feature of living organisms. So what do you mean by reproduction? The process by which an organism produces progeny or the young ones of its own kind. And that process is called reproduction. And this reproduction takes place mainly by two methods, asexual and sexual. So in sexual methods, there is a formation and fusion of gametes. Cell is called gametes. And the progeny shows certain variations from the parents. And in the case of asexual methods, there are different types of asexual methods. Sexual method where there is a single parent is involved. So it is a simple type of reproduction. So in asexual method, we have already studied about budding in hydra, yeast, spore formation in the case of fungi. Many spores are produced. These spores will again form new fungi. Then fragmentation in the case of Spirogyra. Fragmentation, that is also a method of reproduction. Then in amoeba, by binary fission. That too you have studied binary fission, one amoeba divides into two. And simple type of division. So there it is a kind of cell division and also reproduction. So in this case, we can see all living organisms, they reproduce by different methods. But still we can see certain living organisms, they don't reproduce. Like in the case of human beings, sterile couples or infertile couples, they are not able to give rise to children. So can we call them non-living? No. They are also living organisms, but they are not able to reproduce. Certain other animals are also there. They are not capable of reproduction. So we can say reproduction is also not a characteristic feature of living organism, as we find certain exceptions. So it will also show growth and reproduction. So reproduction is also have exceptions. Now coming to metabolism. What is metabolism? So non-living organisms, various chemicals are produced in their body and they undergo various reactions. So certain molecules are formed, certain molecules are broken down, as we studied in digestion. So many molecules are broken down, and which some molecules are formed from the complex ones are formed from the simpler ones. So all these reactions are what we call them metabolic reactions, metabolism, which includes two steps, anabolism and catabolism. So metabolism, anabolism is breaking up, catabolism is breaking down. So breaking down of complex molecules into simpler ones, and that simpler ones again used to make complex ones. So in this way chemical reactions are going on, and you have studied many of these reactions are catalyzed in the presence of enzymes or enzyme catalyzed reactions, which speed up the rate of this reaction. So metabolic reactions, they are going on inside the living organisms. And this living organisms, inside the living organisms only this metabolic reactions are going on. Inside the non-living systems we don't see this kind of metabolic reactions. But reactions we can see in the laboratory. If we are making certain reactions, we can call them living reactions. In the laboratory there is reactions going on with the help of certain organisms. So we can call them living reactions only. But in non-living things we don't find this metabolic reactions. So we find that we can say this is a characteristic feature of living organisms. Okay, so metabolism includes anabolism and catabolism. So that is also a characteristic feature of living organisms. Their metabolic reactions are going on, but in non-living organisms, non-living things, we don't see this metabolic reactions. Now another characteristic feature is cellular organization. So we already know all living organisms, their body is made up of cell. So no non-living organism or no non-living thing shows cellular organization. So all living things only, they are made up of cells. And cells form tissues from organs, then organ system, and as a whole the organism. So that is a level of organism. Then another one is consciousness. Consciousness is actually the ability to respond to the external stimuli or external environment. So all living things can, in one or the other way, can respond to the changes happening in the surroundings or to the environment. So maybe the changes in whatever way the changes happen. So animals respond to the changes with the help of their sense organs. So we also have 5 sense organs. So with that sense organs we are able to sense the changes and act according to that stimulus. And plants also, they also can act according to the changes in the environment. So in that way, all living things, they are conscious about the changes going on in the environment. So consciousness is also an important characteristic feature which determines the living things. Okay. So living organisms can be defined as, so from our observation we can define the living organisms as self-replicating, evolving and self-regulating interactive systems capable of responding to external stimuli. In this way we can define the living organism. They are self-replicating. Replicating means they are dividing. Then evolving, they are changing from one form to another. Evolving and self-regulating. Metabolic reactions are going on. And interactive systems. All these processes are being interacted in the body. And cellular organizations, all this. Because of this, they are capable of responding to the external stimuli. So, in this way we can define the living organism. And the story of life on earth, we call it biology. In the beginning I told you study of life. So it is also called story of life on earth. It is called biology, or it can be also called the story of evolution of living organisms on the earth. That is also we can refer to biology. So in this way we can define it. And the father of biology is Aristotle. Aristotle is known as the father of biology. And this biology is having actually 2 branches. Mainly 2 branches, botany and zoology. 2 branches are there. And botany deals with the plants and zoology with the animals. And still many other branches are there coming under these 2 main subjects. Okay, so biology is the story of life on earth or story of evolution of living organisms. In the next topic we will be learning about the diversity and naming of these living organisms. Millions of species of plants and animals are present on the earth. It is not easy to refer to each one. So how we can easily refer to these plants and animals? So there is a system of naming the living organisms, and we'll see that in the next topic. Now let us see the important points. What is living? Characteristics of living organisms. The characteristics are growth, reproduction, metabolism, cellular organization, and consciousness. So out of this, some are defining features of living organisms and some have exceptions. That is, even non-living show the features of that living organisms. So first feature is growth. Growth is taken as an increase in mass and number, and increase in mass refers to intrinsic increase or increase in the protoplasmic matter of the cell. So you know what is protoplasm. So the living part of the cell is called protoplasm. So increase in the protoplasmic matter of the cell. And some cases we see increase in number is by the cell division. So both intrinsic and extrinsic increase, that is increase in mass and number takes place. Increase in mass refers to intrinsic increase or increase in the protoplasmic matter of the cell, and increase in number is by cell division. Plants grow continuously by cell division. They have meristematic tissue at certain regions that allow them to grow throughout their lifespan. Animals grow up to a certain age only, and cells are replaced. Unicellular organisms grow in number by cell division. Growth is extrinsic in non-living objects. That is, the increase in mass and growth can be seen by adding the matter from outside. Examples are mountain boulders and sand mounds, which show extrinsic growth. So it is also a kind of growth. So we can say growth is not a defining feature. Even non-living objects show growth in one or the other way. Next feature is reproduction. Living organisms reproduce sexually as well as asexually. So two types of reproduction are there, sexual reproduction and asexual reproduction. So as you know, sexual reproduction involves two parents with the formation and fusion of gametes. Asexual reproduction is a uniparental and the young ones are completely resembling the parents. In sexual reproduction, we find variations of the progeny from the parents. Asexual reproduction. Following are the ways of asexual reproduction: spore formation, which we find in the case of fungus; budding in the case of yeast; fragmentation, spirogyra; regeneration we find in the case of planaria; binary fission in the case of amoeba. In these ways, asexual reproduction takes place. In these organisms, reproduction is synonymous with growth. Hence, growth and reproduction go simultaneously. Many living things do not reproduce, so reproduction is also not a defining feature of life forms. So, many examples are there where many living things do not reproduce. Examples in the case of hybrids that are produced in captivity or under experimental conditions, like mules or certain organisms. Then sterile worker honeybees, infertile human couples, all do not reproduce, but still they are living organisms. Next is metabolism. It means all chemical reactions occurring in the living cells. It includes catabolism, breaking down of materials, that is complex substances, and anabolism, building up of the complex from the simpler ones. So both these are going on, taking place in our body. Metabolism occurs in both unicellular and multicellular organisms, and is a vital process or a very important or essential process for its survival. Non-living objects do not show metabolism. So, metabolism is a defining feature of all living organisms without exception. Since metabolism occurs only inside the cells, hence cellular organization of the body is a defining feature of living things. So we know chemical reactions are occurring inside our body, and our body is made up of cells. So all reactions occurs inside the cell. So if metabolism is to occur, cellular organization should be there. So metabolism occurs only inside the cells. Hence we can say cellular organization of the body also is a defining feature of living things, which we don't find in the case of non-living things. All living things are made up of cell. Next is consciousness. Living things are able to sense their environment and respond to these environment stimuli, which could be physical, chemical, or biological. Plants respond to factors like water, light, temperature, humidity, etc. They do this by either increasing or decreasing the rate of transpiration, opening and closing of stomata, etc. So by many features they will respond to the environment. But living things, that is animals, mainly respond to the environment through their sense organs. So it could be the stimuli which is received from the environment could be physical, chemical, or biological. Human beings are not only aware of surroundings, that is they are conscious, but also aware of themselves. So they are self-conscious. So human beings are not only aware of the surroundings, but also aware of themselves. So overall we can say the living organisms are self-replicating, evolving, and self-regulating interactive systems capable of responding to external stimuli. So in this way we can define the living organisms. So they are self-replicating, they are evolving and self-regulating interactive systems. They are capable of responding to external stimuli. So biology, how we can define it, is the science of living things, or it is the story of life on earth, or in other words we can say it is the story of evolution of living organisms on earth. That is biology.